sisters are in other rooms, that's fine. Just ping them so they can come in whenever they're done. It's all good. No worries whatsoever.
Hey, shalom, everybody. Shalom, everybody coming in. As Brother Leo said, ping as many people as you can to the room. Um, Make sure you become a member of Thy Kingdom Come. We always say that before and after. Nominate someone to become a member. Brother Leo has been putting these classes together for over now 10 weeks. This will be the 10th. This will be around the 10th. This will be around the 10th week. I think it's more than 10 weeks because we got 10 episodes, but I think we skipped a week, so it's a little over 10 weeks. For the other 9 installments, you can go to the YouTube and catch up on 1 through 9. Um, so Leo should be getting started soon. Continue to ping until you see that red mark that you can't ping anymore. We want to get everybody in here to get them informed.
Con,
Right. So you
all praises. Yes, go ahead and ping. Now we wanted to, I guess, apologize for today's lack of news. It was a lot of conflicts going on, and yeah, so we will be, we got a lot to cover tomorrow. So I was in meetings all day at my job. So, and then the other brothers got tied up. So, you know, that won't, that those are rare and few and far between that we miss the news like that. So, thank you for understanding. We'll be bright and early tomorrow morning for the mid-morning news and current events. So yeah, if we welcome to the room, um, go ahead and ping your followers list, and let's go ahead and get started. So, just going to go over a quick recap of what we've done so far. 1 second. Okay. The Lord has been very gracious and helping us build this biblical platform. So all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Shout out to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Greetings and blessings. Week 1 or episode 1, we gave a broad overview of Jacob's trouble. What is it? What does the Bible say? Scriptures to bolster your faith and subdue your fear while you prepare per the Lord's commandments in 2nd Ezra 16 and 40 and Luke 22:36. Week 2, we covered hyperinflation, which is the excessive, out of control prices in the economy, which is typically 50% or more in price increase. We also cover some ways to combat and to recognize the coming hyperinflation, using Joseph in Egypt as an example. Week 3, we went in greater detail about food storage, the best ways to store your food long term, some of the best methods to accumulate your food storage. You can utilize food pantries, share memberships to Sam's and wholesale stores. Those are good options to supplement your food bill while building your storage. Week 4, we covered power outages, the difference between a cyber attack and an EMP. Quick difference is the EMP, which is electric magnetic pulse, will destroy every and anything that has a microchip or circuit board. We also talked about ways to store your electronics to survive an EMP, building a Faraday cage. Those are quick and cheap, effective ways to store your electronics, just in case an EMP happens. Cyber attacks, as you can see with the Colonial Pipeline, is a little bit more common. Everything will still work as long as it doesn't need the internet. Week 5, we covered home security, some cheap and cost-effective things we can do to beef up your home security. And we talked about bug out bags, which is just a military term for your emergency bag that you need to do, that you need to have when it's time to leave. Some smaller bags are typically 72 hours worth of supplies, but you can build a lot longer, a long-term survival bag. We covered that in detail. Week 6, we continued with the bug out bags, and we went into skills that you should. We also went into skills that you should start learning now, that will prove useful, such as fire making, water purification, sewing, cooking, bushcraft, childcare, recognizing different types of foliage, etc. Week 7, we covered the wrong mindset to have in the last days, and we used the children of Israel complaining, ungratefulness, lack of faith as a primary way to get cut off in these last days, while covering some unrealistic mindsets that people who refuse to prepare have. For instance, I don't need to store food, I'll just go hunt. We discussed in great detail how this delusional mindset will cause a lot of people to end up in a really bad spot as things escalate. And also in this lesson, we covered water storage specifically and some ways that you can store water and purify your water for long-term storage. Week 8, we covered the right mindset to have during this time, which with precepts designed to bolster your faith, shed your sins, and start getting our hearts and minds ready for what's to come. Episode 9, we covered investing in the last days with the emphasis on the mindset you should have and things you should consider before making investments, considering who we are and the times we are in. So thank you for your support during these weeks. All praises to the Father. This is episode 10. We will be covering the danger of the lone wolf mindset. Now, the danger of the lone wolf mindset and how this mindset is highly not recommended, especially for the times we are headed. We're also going to cover the types of social groups you may see while covering if and when you enter a group or a camp during Jacob's trouble. Some things you should see or should notice, whether or not you want to be a part of that. So let's go into I'm going to pull another page from Brother Dominique, giving us the definition. So from the prepper community, a prepper is just someone who's prepared for long-term or emergency or extreme emergency situations. So that's all a prepper is. It's something that the Esau uses that term. You see some of the shows on TV talking about bunkers and all this other stuff. That's just the term, someone who's prepared for an emergency. But within that community, you have some terms, lots of terms. For instance, SHTF just means shit hits the fan. Israelites, we just say Jacob's trouble. But one of the terms in the community, and it's a debate that goes on, the lone wolf approach, okay? So the lone wolf, by definition, is someone who prefers to live, act, and work alone or independent of others. This is true of the lone wolf prepper because they plan to go it alone and doing whatever it takes to defend themselves and survive in Jacob's trouble. They believe they have the skills and knowledge they would need to help them survive alone. Now, a few things. With this lone wolf mindset, this is taking the form of your prototypical American post-apocalyptic movies where the sole survivor is roaming the earth on a mission of some sort while fighting hordes of zombies or marauders, and in the end, he succeeds. This myth has taken the holds of almost every prepper or anyone who's in this mindset, and has created an unrealistic mindset for a lot of people. Now, for us, there are some scriptures we will cover that discuss this mindset and why it is dangerous. Now, I said the mindset of you wanting to be alone is different from you actually being temporarily by yourself. Let me say that again. The mindset of you wanting to be alone is completely different than from actually being temporarily by yourself. The lone wolf mindset is dangerous. I mean, even with that mindset, it's still dangerous because you can be in a full room full of people and still be alone. Okay, now there are times when being temporary alone is needed and in some cases required, especially in this fast-paced world we live in. There are times when solitary is required in order to get closer to the Most High. We've seen that with examples of Moses spending 40 days and 40 nights in the mountain with the Most High. We see that with the Messiah when he spent 40 days and 40 nights fasting. We saw that with the patriarch Jacob when he had the dream when he was by himself and he had the dream of we call it Jacob's ladder, the angels on the ladder, or when he fought the angel. He was by himself then. So these people, just a few examples. These aren't the people who had the individualistic mindset, but rather had moments of isolation for a purpose. Okay, that's the key word, for a purpose. So the scripture for today that will probably cover, that will encompass this whole lesson was coming from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 through 12. Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Okay. So now with these verses, we have a few examples of a few cons. There are some pros dealing with in this in Jacob's trouble, but for the most part, there are lots of cons. For one, a few of them being sleep deprivation. Okay, like you're gonna have to sleep sometimes. So I'm talking to those who say, I'm gonna do this alone and I'm going to roam the earth. This is typical with beta males. They think they're going to survive Jacob's trouble or the zombie apocalypse with unlimited ammo and post-apocalyptic concubines. And that is farther from the truth. That is not going to happen. So one of the cons is sleep deprivation. You're going to have to sleep sometimes. So if you're by yourself, that's just that's just one con. Okay. Another one is security blind spots. As we just saw in Ecclesiastes, if one falls, they have someone to help him up, and two, if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. Okay. Another one is a lack of an extra set of eyes to see resources. So if you're by yourself, you may be hyper focused on one thing. I need food, and having someone else with you or a group of you, that's just more set of eyes or more minds working to think of solutions for problems. Okay. Even as a lone wolf, another one is you can only be specialized in so many areas. You can be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So there's only so much you can do by yourself. Okay. Another one is lack of counsel. Lean not to your own understanding, and the lack of synergy. So, me working by myself, if I'm fishing by myself, I may be able to catch 5 fish. But if I have Ben and Mike with me, not only we each can catch 5, but someone might come up with an idea for us to, set a trap to catch more. But as me working by myself, and I may be only to catch 5. Okay, so having some balance. There are some pros, very few, but having some balance, I do want to give those. The lone wolf can make decisions quickly without debate. Okay, he has more freedom to travel and change their location swiftly. Fewer resources are needed to survive, such as food, water, shelter, medical supplies. And working by yourself, you are more stealthy to approach, making it easier. You have a more stealthy approach, Salakia, making it easier to move undetected. Now, again, going over those cons, surviving alone without any backup, vulnerable when sleeping. You only have ability to carry so much, and no physiological or emotional support. All those which we covered in Ecclesiastes 4. So now with that, Ben or Mike, if you can jump in at any time if you have any precepts you want to bring out. So with that, I mean that mindset, it's a really unrealistic, especially for us. Now, again, these lessons are tailored to us, the children of Israel, going into Jacob's trouble. Okay, so it is a highly unrecommended mindset, and you think you might have that mindset, but during this time, the Most High might have other plans for you. So just to get you out of that mindset. So what you see on I Am Legend and Book of Eli and Mad Max was by himself, and until he got with a group towards the end, talking about the new movie or the most recent one. But that is a myth. Like, they're not surviving that long by themselves. It's not happening. Now, Book of Eli might be different because the Most High was with him. You saw that. That may be different, but just in general, you're not going to survive that long by yourself. So now let's discuss the benefits of a group and some things that will make a group. That's some things that will make or break a group during Jacob's trouble. Now, the benefits are numerous as they are obvious. Almost all of them are the exact opposite of the lone wolf. So, sleep deprivation, with a group, people can take shifts. Security blind spots, someone can help watch your back. You have an extra set of eyes to help you think and add input. Instead of being specialized in only a few areas, other people can contribute with their skills and manpower. Lack of counsel, with the group, you have more input to filter many ideas. Um, Instead of having a lack of synergy, having a group can be a force multiplier. So the scripture with that, we want to go to First Corinthians. Let's do First Corinthians chapter 12, start at verse 14. Start at verse 14. So, for the body, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 14. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not the body? If the whole body were the eye, where would be the hearing? If the whole were the hearing, where would the smelling? But now hath God set the members, every one of them, in the body as it please him. So, dealing with group dynamics, there is, you have lots of people that have their part or have their, their contribution, as you will. So, with that, even with that, as we said, talked about a group, the only way that this is going to work is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. So, with the group dynamics, the only way this is going to work is if whatever group you are with or the Most High joins you to during this time, that you guys are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, or we all are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So, we see a lot of groups out there: Proud Boys, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Lettuce, Bacon, Tomatoes. All of these will crumble because their ideas and beliefs are founded on sand. And when the storm comes, they will, easily crumble. Now, with that, with a group having the law, statutes, and commandments as their belief structure and as their way to operate a group, the Most High is going to work. We covered this many times. This is Ecclesiastes 8:5. Whoso keeps the commandment shall feel no evil thing. and a wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment. Okay. So if you're in a group and you are, you guys are keeping the commandments, um, you know, prayerfully, you guys are keeping the commandments, you will feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart will discern both time and judgment. So with that discernment, if you're, temporarily by yourself or you're split up from your group and you get with another group, your spirit is going to speak to you whether or not, you should be fellowshipping or contributing with that group, especially for the times that we're in, especially for the times that we're headed. So, we went over tons of scriptures of how um, a stranger will not have pity on his neighbor, but they will be going house to house for a lack of bread with the sword. So those people that are described in that scripture, those are the ones whose belief system is survival. Okay, that's it. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about the law, statutes, and commandments. Their thing is survival. Now, with that, with that being their key focus, survival, that is your primal base instincts is for survival. Humans naturally are self-serving and self-preserving. Excuse me. So with this, you're not governed by law, statute, and commandments. Whatever group you get into is going to start falling apart fairly quickly. Um, so, um, King Ben or Mike, something you wanted to add? King Ben or Mike? Okay, they're probably still.
Not at the moment.
Okay. So, with this, I know some people, one thing is, if you're not currently with a congregation or a camp, um, one thing, I mean, first thing you want to do is start praying and fasting that the Lord sends you to a camp that, is after his own heart and, knowing what's to come, and that, you get joined with that body. Okay. Um, it's a lot of things, even with, a lot of groups, some, I'm gonna say, there's some out there, some camps out there or some churches have a belief that, you don't need to prepare at all for Jacob's trouble. You don't need to have any preparation at all. And if you even think about putting away an extra can of beans, it shows your lack of faith. Okay. If you've been with us in any amount of time, we went over plenty of precepts to prove that's not true. So you definitely want to, pray and fast to the Most High that He connects you with a body who is of the same mind. Okay. So with that, you have some other dynamics. Okay. So with the, you're talking about a group. Like I said, the Lord. If you're not currently with a congregation, the Lord knows that. He's not deaf or he's not blind. He knows that. I mean, I know some people, they're not currently with a congregation, but they're at home taking care of their parents, who are, in need of assistance. So the Most High knows that. And the Most High is faithful and just to protect you during that time. And, when the time comes, connect you with the body. So I see a lot of, hear a lot of people that have concrete plans. This is exactly what we're going to do when this happens, and it's dangerous for a few reasons. It's not bad. You definitely should plan, and you should definitely keep planning and working towards those plans. But the dangerous mindset is with that, having that concrete. This is what we're going to do. Is you don't know what the future holds. So, for instance, for me, like I'm in Houston, so I could say I am going to Oklahoma. Okay, that's my plan. That's where my family's from. So I'm going there, and the Most High is like, no, I want you to go east, or I want you to go west. Like, don't even think about Oklahoma. But for me leaning on my own understanding and not having the ability to adapt, um, that's going to be very dangerous. And so that's going to be very detrimental to me, having that mindset. So whatever your plans are or whatever your meetup location or whatever you guys, got going on, I have no, I'm confident that you consulted the Most High, and I'm confident that He's moving and opening up doors that this is what He wants you or your congregation to do. I have no doubt that you're doing that. But even then, let's say, like I said, so let's say you have location X, and this is where we plan to go, but you live 50 miles away, and there's one road to get there. So if it's an EMP, you're walking. Okay, so let's just get that set. We discussed that in the class about the EMP. Now you could buy a device that will protect your vehicle from an EMP. It's called an EMP shield. You can look that up. It's we haven't had an EMP in over 100 years, so or a solar flare that has the same effect as the EMP in over 100 years. But if you do decide to get that for your vehicle and install it, just know that if an EMP does hit, you're going to be one of the few people driving around, and I'm not sure if you want to draw that kind of attention to you, but again, it's something to consider. Not to mention, there's going to be a ton of cars blocking the road because their cars died. If you have a car that was made before 1980, that was before they started putting chips and circuit boards into the car. So any car before 1980, car or truck, it will still work. So it'll be unaffected by an EMP. But whatever your plan is to meet up or to, if you have the lone wolf mindset, for the love of God, please get rid of that mindset. It is not, again, to say, hey, I'm not with the congregation now is different than saying I'm going to go this alone. Okay, that's two completely different things. One is your physical situation, and another one is a mindset. Okay, now within this, again, we don't know what the future holds. So having the ability to adapt, is definitely something that we should do, or at least start getting comfortable with, because we are going to have to adapt. I said this before, our current standard of living will be dramatically altered when, World War III kicks off, cyber attack, EMP, martial law, whatever scenario the Most High has set before us. Um, um, you know, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to adapt on how we live our day to day lives from that point forward. So with that, some of us are with family, some of us, our congregation is our family, but let's just talk about for a moment your family, your family versus strangers, because we do see in some of these situations where the family is all together and then somehow they get split up or family members die, and they get with strangers. So going back to who is the group dynamic of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So keeping your you know how do I say that, like having that at the forefront of your mind, people in the body, those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, again, that should be your driving guide as far as who to connect with. So some of us, we have family members who are in the truth and who aren't. So if you had to choose, I'm just going to do, if you had to choose between family and complete strangers, these are some things that, from a psychological level that, that will happen. Um, Pros, for number one, them, they're your family. That may be a good thing or a bad thing, but two, it'd be easier to communicate. There's already a established rapport there. And again, if you're with a congregation, this is you're like, hey, this is my family, which is all praises. Three, more than likely, they're more likely than to have your back. Okay. And four, the more generous. Now, this is everyone's so we have some interesting families out there. So, but those are the pros of being with someone having that mindset now, or working towards getting prepared and getting your hearts and minds right. Brother Ariel wants to come up. One sec.
Eyes of the Lord.
Okay. So with that, there's some people that you want to you want to there's some people that you want to what is that? You have your family. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now, what is the bad thing of having your family? What are some of the bad things of with people you know? Not so much your family, just people you know. Letting go of difficulties. Okay, bringing up past secret drama. Okay, so let's deal with these two. Now, with these two, letting go of difficulties and past secret drama, as things are good now, people are not really gonna, oh, that's water on the bridge. Let that go. Yeah. But as resources dwindle and you guys are in a group and people start arguing, it's going to take a lot of maturity and and people who are following the law, statutes, and commandments not to bring up past drama and start arguments. So again, during this time, it's going to be a difficult time. So says the scriptures. So this is really going to bring out people, really show people's true intentions. And part of another con with dealing with family members during this time, you're going to have poorly picked roles. And when I mean that, poorly picked roles, just because it may be it may be you with your dad, your mom, and let's say you have a kid. Okay. Having your dad as the leader just because he's the dad, or having the granddad as the leader just because he's the granddad, knowing he's not following the law, statutes, and commandments. He was mocking and scoffing at Jacob's trouble. That could be proving that could be detrimental. So you'll see that time and time again in a lot of movies like The Walking Dead or whatever. I don't know if you guys saw that, but for instance, season 2 with Herschel, he was the older one. He was the dad and the granddad in the family, so he was just naturally the leader. Or you would see Rick with his family was naturally the leader, and so you would see that that dynamic, which is, it's not poorly picked, but it's just something that we all kind of tend to will do default, or a lot of people, So keep that in mind. So again, if you're around people who are not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, they're definitely scoffing at this. It is definitely something to consider. So with that, on the opposite end, strangers. So again, you want to be adaptive, because you may run into some strangers, but they're keeping the law, statutes, commandments. You never seen them before. You never seen them on Clubhouse. You never seen them on. You never seen them on. Hold on, bring up somebody. You never seen them, in any Clubhouse. You never seen them on YouTube or anything like that. But they have, they have fringes on, and these are strangers. The good thing about that is, the pros are there's no bias roles. But just because you're the patriarch of the family, he's, none of that. Clean slate. They don't know you. 3, you have an equal opportunity. Everyone has the equal opportunity to prove themselves. Number 4, logic is going to trump emotion. So that situation, oh, that's my baby. That's if you're dealing with strangers, and the Lord is gracious enough to connect you with people who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and have the faith in the Messiah. Yeah, that's definitely key too. Got to have both, per the Book of Revelations. So having both, logic is going to trump emotion. So if you're with your family and you're saying, hey, I'm gonna go check and see what's over that hill, your mom gonna be like, oh, that's my baby, you can't go, whatever. That's emotion overriding logic, versus if you're with a bunch of strangers who are like we said, in the truth, logic's probably going to trump that. So that is the positive thing. Shalom, brother Makarov. You got anything you want to add?
I was just gonna say, if you guys can't hear me, just cut me off at any time. But I was just gonna say, you brought up a very good point about the danger of a lone wolf mindset. I'm gonna be real quick because I grew up only child, so I kind of already had that mindset. One, also just keep in mind, when it comes to family, for anyone listening, you in the audience or whatever, uh, especially when it comes to this fairy tale that people are living in. I see a lot of sisters, and I'm not meaning to offend anyone, but if you are offended, I'm sorry. I see a lot of sisters talking about how they want to have a bunch of children. Realistically speaking, if you don't already have kids or you're not already in that process, realistically speaking, this isn't the time to be in fairy tale land wanting 7 kids, a dog, and a white picket fence house. A bunch of that is going to slow you down. I'm just going to be honest. Now, the Most High is merciful, He is gracious, but being realistic, 5 guys kick down your door, you could probably do it better alone with just a little family versus you trying to do the big, comfy couch type shit. So I would definitely say, men, be wise with your women when you choose them. You don't want some. Of course, females are going to be feminine, but you want her to be realistic as well. And also, women, I would say now isn't the time. Of course, we like to look cute and go on dates and stuff. Um, I would say as much time as you spend looking cute and going on dates, spend that time going outside, getting dirty. We don't want to hear shit about your damn allergies. We don't give a shit. I'm sorry. Your allergies aren't gonna stop you from training. You're an asset to us. We're an asset to you. And we can't have any unnecessary weak link just attitudes coming in because you have the fucking sniffles. So please, people, adapt like you said. Take cold showers. You're not always gonna have hot water. Keep the AC off sometime this summer. Don't tell me that you can't, because most of you grew up in the hood where you had to heat up the house with the stove during the winter and you had to use the damn fan on the porch. So I don't want to hear any excuses. So yeah, I definitely say adapt, and that's it.
Con. And a lot of what you covered, we covered that last week about investing, and that was I think that was before we did the courting. Brother Ben and Darash did the courting class. So yeah, so being that's definitely part of preparation. So we said that a few times. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. However, if you have zero emergency preparedness, it's definitely high time to awake out of the sleep, awake out of your sleep, as we quoted in Proverbs many times, comparing the ant. So now with the group dynamic, there are some things. Let's go through the pros and cons of that. So the pros. A large group has a better place to defend. The group can increase in skill set. You have others that can teach others. You have more hands on deck that can take the strain and give rest to the other members. Has the ability to grow community infrastructure to improve the quality of life moving forward, increase productivity. When traveling with supplies, more people can carry more. We kind of covered that. But now with the cons, not all group members are well known to one another, so there can be trust issues. More food and water and supplies that are needed to support the group, but we're talking through our lens of Israelites, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and having faith in them, having faith in the Most High, and having faith in the Messiah. The possibility of discontent or mutiny among the ranks, um, you know, that's a real thing. As long as everything's going well, the leader is doing the best job. This is the best leader. We saw that with King David when the Amalekites, took their women and spoiled. They were about to stone David. So as long as things are going good, there's no problem. But the second there's something that looks wrong. We saw that with Moses in the wilderness. You know, discontent and mutiny probably, and more. Prayerfully not, but being realistic, it will arise within the ranks. Okay. Not as easy to move quickly if the situation requires for everyone to evacuate. But now, So with that, the debate of lone wolf versus groups has been debated to death many times. And, again, for us, we know that the Most High has told us, gather, O ye nation, not desired. So, if you're alone now and the Most High, has chosen you to be part of the remnant, one way or another, you're going to be with the group. And probably after the experience you go through or the things that you see, you'll probably be glad to be with a group, that's in the truth, of course. So when I talk about group, I'm just talking about those that are in the truth, just because that's who I'm focused on. So, or that's who these lessons are geared to those that are in the truth. So, and with that, you're going to have, some groups or some camps, they already have, structured leadership. They have council, group of advisors, things like that, which will run smoothly during Jacob's trouble. I mean, it is. So, if you're going into that, it's, you would have a already set, a hierarchy of, who's in charge, how can you contribute to that group and, things of that nature. So it's not really much else to, discuss on this point. King Ben or Mike, if you guys have any precepts, or Ariel, if you want to add anything, but just that mindset is extremely dangerous. That isolation is it's just not realistic for this. It's not real. It's not a good now. It's going to be even worse for when the time comes. That uh, everything that we covered, everything that's happening in the news, really kicks off to a boiling point. So, you know, King Ben, something you want to add?
Yeah, I wanted to stress the point of, um, you know, as we get to these times, these are the times that we talk about for preparation, and this will be the 10th installment of this. So we should be continuing to get to preparation. And what I mean by preparation is, getting your plans in order for when, you know, that fateful day or whatever, happens, whether it be, a natural disaster, or, all hell breaks loose, war breaks out, riots break out in your neighborhood, lights go out. This is the time right now, as uh the Bible speaks about, you know um the time before judgment day. And judgment will be basically at noon. The Bible always speaks about judgment being at noon, which is the hottest part of the day. So this right now, this time is like the cool of the day right now. The cool of the day is the time before judgment. So before things break out, right now should be the time that you are getting your house in order. Like, you are, if you are a person that is without a camp, you should be seeking out those that are in like a camp setting, or those that are attached to a body. Or if you are not near anyone that is attached to a body, seek out an elder which have, some type of know-how that can connect with another body. You want to be in these times, you don't, you want to use the opposite of being the lone wolf, because we know in this time the Most High say, gather together, right? O nation not desire, Zephaniah 2:1, right? So we want to gather with those are like minded. We don't want to in this time be around those that are of a different mindset. Namely, a lot of time, our neighbors. We are in A lot of us are, unless we live in a community full of Israelites, we are in we are in neighborhoods that have people that do not adhere to the laws that we adhere to, right? They do not keep the days that we keep. They do not eat the foods that we eat. So we don't really want to be huddled with them should something happen for a significant amount of time. So we want to have things in plan, so when things in place, so when things happen, we can go to a certain uh people, or our people, those that similar to us, and then we will have resources, right? Not everybody's going to be strong in the same thing, right? Leo may be good at, building certain things. Mike may be good at gathering certain things. Makarov may be good at hunting. Ariala may be good at preparing certain type of food, or knowing what food to gather. That's resources. That's where everybody comes together to serve one purpose. That's what the brother Leo brought out as far as all being parts of the body. So right now, we want to stress, at not being, and we talk about this a lot on this platform, not being an individual. And we understand that not everybody has a body to go to. Some people are anti-body, anti-camp. But this is the time that you should get away from that, right? A camp is another word for an army. Okay, these are people that will not only an army, but as well as a family. These are people that will be able to defend you in this time. And the main thing you want to be is around strong men, because as women and children, you're not going to really be able to defend yourself as women and children. It's only so much you can do. The only protection you have uh, from a man is by another man. So you need strong men to be able to stand up for you, and that's the type of setting that you will find it in those that are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Right, and in that time when those things happen, everyone's going to be looking for these righteous men, these men that they, turned up their nose at, these ones that they wanted to ostracize. These are going to be the men that are, guiding the community. They're going to be looking to follow. You're going to have a bunch of outsiders looking to follow, right? In that time, a man is going to be very valuable. We understand that women are doing things now, taking training, getting trained in firearms and things like that. But in that day, it's going to be so important to have a man, a righteous man, not an effeminate man, not a man that's going to say, let's just stay here and wait it out. You have to know when to stay and when to leave, and you have to have preparation in doing so. You got to be ready to move out. And when you are moving out, you have to take routes that, as Leo brought out in many classes, you got to take routes that is going to be, the less traveled route for other people, right? Because you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be amongst the crowd of people going crazy. You want to try to get to your destination swiftly and quietly, stealthily, as they say, unnoticed, right? Especially if you are alone, but you want to get to a point where you can gather with other like-minded individuals. So that's where it's going to be. A righteous man is going to be so important. I got one a precept on that. Give me 1 second.
Isaiah 13.
Huh?
Isaiah 13.
Yeah.
Okay,
Con. You
I
got it
got.
up?
Yeah, I got it.
13:12.
Con.
Okay. Yeah, 13:12. This is Book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. Well, let me start at verse 11. I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the wedge of Ophir.
Con. And you see, listen, we on this platform, we see it all day. You can look in the hallway. It's 20 rooms saying that I don't need a man. Man, it was a room last night. Black women, quotation marks, boys, black boys ain't shit. Basically a snide at black men, calling them boys and things like that. The worst man in that time, the worst man is going to, women are going to be looking for them for support. The worst niggas that is in the world, they're going to be looking for these men to defend them in that day. So a righteous man is going to be just that much more valuable. A man with understanding, a man with leadership. You know, that's what this is about. Getting yourself prepared. And listen, we don't, families is families. Women, a lot of women have, whatever their situation is. So whether you have 4 kids, 5 kids, whatever the situation is, that's up to the Most High. I understand what Brother Makarov was talking about, but whatever your situation is, make sure you are in a righteous situation that you can, that when you get to this point, you don't have to be thinking about, is this guy gonna lead me correctly? You already had that handled, right? You already picked someone with leadership that is leading your household correctly. This is the time, right? You don't want to be going through all type of changes, unsure of who you're dealing with when that shit hits the fan. When Esau is either at your door or savages or whatever the case is, or all hell is breaking loose, you don't want to be unsure of the leadership in your household, right? So that's what all these lessons for. That's what all these character building lessons is. That's why we are on this platform, to get our people prepared to get the hell up out of here. If y'all got any more precepts y'all want to add, go ahead.
If I not a precept, but real quick, 100 for everything that everybody said up here. 100. I see Miles just came up on stage. So I'm gonna make it real quick, like he got something to say. But I will also throw out um.
Okay, I guess he got tied up.
But
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm here. But just real quick, I was just gonna say a lot of folks just need to also be aware of, like, just different types of things they may run into when they're out there. Don't use YouTube to look at she make it clap, 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 or whatever the hell, whatever's hot in the streets. Use YouTube to honestly look up how to use this type of weapon, how to use a bolt action, how to use a belt trigger, even how to drive a Humvee. Like, they have, like, be able to, if something happens, you can use your resources. Or also just use YouTube. If you don't, a lot of people think, oh, I gotta have a kit with a million things and all that. Just need what works for you. Like King Ben said, depending on how your family dynamic is set up, the Most High, He'll guide you on how to operate with that. But the main thing is just keeping the commandments and all that, and praying for wisdom, and also getting in that warrior mindset too. Legit, go watch some war movies. Go think. Just go sit down quietly and think on things. Like, what you would expect. What would you do? Like, how many of you right now, if 5 dudes popped up in your house right now, what you gonna do? Okay. Now let's say 5 dudes popped up in your apartment, or they going door to door saying, y'all saw that video where they went to door to door doing vaccines with the army and all that. What y'all gonna do in that situation? You don't want to be Rambo and shit, making a bunch of noise. So how you gonna defend yourself? Maybe you gotta talk your way out of it. A lot of people don't have these in mind, but they know that they want to get a bag and go tour Europe and all this other bullshit. That probably ain't gonna happen. But that's another conversation. But definitely, just please use your mindset and your imagination, if you will, to really sort out some scenarios and make yourself that much more prepared. That's all I have to say.
Khan, thank you. Brother Miles, before I get to you, let me bring out this precept real quick. It was concerning what people were saying. Just to, contrast with Isaiah 13 and 12, I will make a man more precious than gold. We know that's talking about the righteous man in context. Now, let's contrast that with 2 Ezra 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So these men in verse 19 are the complete opposite of the men in Isaiah 13 and 12. Like I said, when you don't have a set of standards, we know ours is the Bible. You're going back to your primal basic instincts as surviving. Because of the lack of bread, there will have no pity upon their neighbor. So again, this is not saying, oh, your neighbor's not in the truth, nor do they care, or that doesn't mean be afraid of them. It means be aware that as the scripture says, when the famine, when the war and destruction comes, your neighbors who are not in the truth will not have pity on you. So That should tell you everything you need to know as far as how you should operate in that time. And plus, if you've been to any of these classes, we've covered this, ad nauseum, and we're going to keep continuing to cover it. So, uh, you know, that's what I have. Brother Miles, something you wanted to add?
Yeah, yeah. Um, it is my prayer that Jacob's trouble starts off during Feast of Tabernacles, and I exercise my faith in that prayer by preparing myself till then. I think the Feast of Tabernacles represents an excellent opportunity to essentially test out everything you've brought out in all of your lessons thus far. You know, that's it.
Con. And one thing we talk about, it's, like I said, the worst people during this time are the people that do not have a clue what's going on. When this goes down, we will definitely, we will know what's happening, or more so why it's happening. And a lot of people that we're going to cover that on movie night, when we there's a mockumentary, that I have that discusses power outages and cyber attacks. It's pretty good, but like the first couple of days, everyone's barbecuing, thinking it's a damn joke, and that's the worst part. We are going to know. It's going to be, and so I covered this in the cyber attack in episode, I think, 3. But just reiterating, one way you're going to know if it's a cyber attack versus an EMP is if when the power goes out, your phone is going to tell you everything. If your phone if it just goes dead along with everything else, your with your appliances in your house, and it doesn't come back on, that's an EMP. If you go try to start your car, that's and it doesn't turn on, that's an EMP. Okay. Cyber attack, everything, the power goes out, but you have your phone, and the phone signal, the towers, your bars go down and then they just go out, but your phone still works, it's still functioning. You just don't have internet or service, but everything else around you is dead. The ATMs are not working, the bank is, online banking is messing up. Pipeline can't pump oil because someone decided to hook it up to the internet. That's what you're dealing with, a cyber attack. So, those are just two quick, I guess, reiterations that, we have, that I'm giving you to tell the difference. So, and, that will make, drastically alter, your plans going forward. But, so, just be, just get in that mindset. And the thing is, like, we're not saying, don't enjoy, have a movie night, when it's time for you to relax. We're definitely not saying that. But the thing is, in terms of the percentage of work versus play, needs to be drastically imbalanced towards work and preparation. So, even with that, even, we talk about this, all this, in the natural preparation, but I mean, the spirit is exponentially more important. So, that 80-year-old, she knows she's from the seed of Jacob, but she's doing her best to learn the precepts. The Most High, definitely going to take care of her, Lord willing. But, the spirit is definitely, more important. So, use this time like your most precious resource you have. Yes, we talk about food, we talk about groups, we talk about, all this other stuff, but your most precious resource is time. So, because once it goes down, that's it. You cannot reset the clock to, you can't reset for 2 more weeks because you wanted to. Oh, now that it's here, you can move some stuff around. No, whatever you have in your possession, you have until the Most High adds to it, and he'll add to it what and when he wants to. So, and with that, like Brother Macaval said, and we said, again, use YouTube. I have a playlist that I'll post to the group chat that has a playlist of everything of videos by Esau that goes over everything. Fire making, cooking, what is it? Water purification, how to forage, whatever. It's just a ton of videos that I made a playlist of that I'll put in the chat for everyone to get access to. So those are we covered everything within those, but to see someone actually do it and to see which videos are the best. I curated a lot of those videos to pick out the best ones or the easier ones to explain. So we'll provide that to you, that you'll be you have everything you need, but use your time wisely. So I can't emphasize that enough. Use the time wisely. To learn these precepts, memorize Psalms, really get in these scriptures while having faith while preparing. So I've heard some people say, "Oh, I don't have money to prepare." It's like, okay, well, have you tried setting something aside? And this thing you honestly may not. Yes, the second the money, the second I get some money, it goes straight to bills, and I'm still behind. Well, and that's okay. The Most High, that's where you definitely start praying and fasting for a better job, or to get your business off the ground, and
Work overtime. Work overtime. You don't have to. I mean, I'm not saying break the Sabbath, but maybe you can stay like an extra few hours on Thursday or whatever, just before the Sabbath. But definitely work overtime if you have to.
and yeah. So, and with that, it may require you to be uncomfortable at some point. So, I mean, I gave my testimony about me having to work at Pizza Hut. But so it's going to require, it may require you to be uncomfortable at, some different types of jobs. Don't despise small beginnings. So, I've heard some people, I had a conversation with a sister. She didn't have a job, and I was like, oh, well, you should go wait tables, because they're always hiring. Doesn't matter where you go. The most fanciest restaurant, or, IHOP, whatever, they're always hiring. And her reply was, "Well, I don't know about that. It's not really for me." And I'm like, "Well, what's for you? It doesn't, like, unemployment is not for you, but you shouldn't despise the job because you got a personality problem with serving people. Like, that's not it." I mean, I let her have it, in the spirit, and what a brother Dominique covered earlier. Rebuke, tell you why I rebuked you, and teach you. um, you know, if it's an opportunity, like right now, you're saying you don't have a job, and your mom's about to kick you out. You need to get a job. Anything that is hiring, and the Most High is going to open up, doors after you can prove and show that you are grateful and you are a wise steward of what He has given you. So, and eventually she got the job at, I think IHOP or whatever, and she was talking about it, not negatively, but like, I could tell, you're learning. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, yeah, you're learning. So, um, you know, definitely don't despise it. And like Brother Macaross said, yeah, if you got to pick up two jobs, I mean, I have two jobs. It's there's nothing wrong with having two jobs. You use that. So use one job to pay your bills, and the other one, to pay down debt and put some to store. So, there's solutions out there. You just have to be, again, adaptable. So, to say, I ain't working at no damn IHOP waiting no tables. So you really think you're going to be okay with not having a shower in 3 or 4 days, going 3 or 4 days without having a shower or brushing your teeth? You're going to be okay with that, but you just can't handle the the pressure of waiting tables. Okay, yeah. So again, there's a lot of unrealistic mindsets that we have to have, namely for this lesson, the lone wolf being number one, like, oh, I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't need no man. Man ain't shit. I'm gonna go to the white man. Now, for those who want to go to the white man, let's see what the Bible says about that. For those who are not joining their own, this is Isaiah chapter 13,
Yo,
verse 4.
Tevin, mute your mic.
All right, yeah, he came in. He's fine. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as a chaste roe. Let me go up to verse 13. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man takes up. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone to his own land. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So even during this time when we talked about group dynamics, like kinds are going to adjust, are going to start flocking to like kind. So prayerfully, I'm prayerfully of the hopeful elect that I'll be gathered with the remnant during this time, but everyone's going to be, turned to his own people. So you, again, want to be the lone wolf and join to another people, you will be thrusted through. So we can just count as many celebrities or coons or, sellouts or whatever you want to, those group of people will be thrusted through. So whatever, those other people use them for, use them up. After that is done, they will be thrusted through. And so, having, again, this also encompasses the lesson of having the right and wrong mindset. We really have to adjust our mindset, namely with, I don't need anybody and I don't, I can do it all and blah, blah, blah. It's not realistic, especially for those that claim to be in the truth. So, Brother Tevin, is there anything you have before I close out? Brother Tevin.
Oh, I'm sorry. The thing is, I was trying to explain to, I believe, King Ben in an early conversation about, what particular skills that I need to learn necessarily because, I'm quote unquote disabled and I have a stockpile and everything, but I'm worried about, how will I be able to navigate physically myself because, I can't physically move things as far as I would need to. And I'm really trying to think about, because I currently live quote unquote by myself and my brother doesn't stay too far away. So would I have to link up with him some kind of way? Or, I'm just really just going to lean on the Most High to provide a way for me because the people around me aren't necessarily in the truth, so to speak.
Con. And, with that, to answer your question, because that's a very common question. Some people, they do live by themselves, or they're single mother, single father, or like I said earlier, they're taking care of their elderly. So here is here's a precept for that. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. Okay, so you got two things you got to do. Do not be afraid, and neither doubt. For God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord. Okay, it does not say the guide of them who are able-bodied and, they got, ammo, guns, and, food for 6 months. It doesn't say that. And the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord. Okay, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So you have some commandments. We all have these commandments we have to follow. Okay, the days of trouble are at hand, but like he said, he will deliver us. Do not be afraid, neither doubt. So I say this, a few times. Fear and faith cannot occupy the same spot in your mind. It cannot. So either you're afraid or, you're not. You have fear or you have faith. They both cannot, you can't be, you can't be a double-minded man. So, I mean, that's just, that's, to you and to a lot of people that, are in similar situations. So, and that's the thing, whatever our stockpile is, I mean, let me just go up. I mean, it's not, that stockpile we have in our house is for the initial whatever, if we're home when things go down, that's what that's for. Because it says here in verse 70, just going up, for there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Okay? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Now, here's the spoiling and destroying. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So, have faith and comfort in that. So, some of us may be forced to leave our house before we get thrown out. Some of us may just get thrown out, and they're going to take whatever, food or whatever stuff we stored, so what? I mean, the Most High is going to provide for us when we leave anyway. So,
Salaki.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to speak to Brother Tevin's point, just of, you being by yourself right now. And that's what we've been doing, by building up this platform, by getting into the chat as well. And what we're doing, we're trying to, let everyone, as we fellowship with everyone, we're learning about one another, and we are seeing what skills each of us have. In those times, as we prepare, we want to increase our skills. And we had this discussion the other day. Brother Ariala was talking about it. We, in our Shalom and Chill rooms, we discussed, we fellowship. But in that time of us getting to know each other and being around, we're on this platform 24/7. Most of us, a lot of us, and that's what we try to do with the rooms, so that we do have a place, even though we're not physically there. We have a place for our people to go and get information. That's what this platform is mainly for. And Brother Tevin, you're now in the in the back chat. So what we are doing now in this time, and you should do it also, start cataloging, and as much as yourself, the skills that you can do, as well as others. Learn about the, you can ask, what area are you in, Brother Tevin? Brother Tevin?
Atlanta.
You're in Atlanta. Well, okay, that we have a lot of people in Atlanta. We have a lot of brothers that's down there. We have camps, Ariala's in Sakari. A lot of his members is down in Atlanta area, which is a huge body, which they have a lot of skills and things. So that's what we are doing. We're linking up by the back chat and just being on this app, with one another. We became more than just, we're not only connected by our blood, which, being Israel, but we also connected by our daily fellowship with one another, learning of each other's skills. So in this time, that's what you should be doing when on this app, getting to know people, knowing their skills, knowing where they're at. So when that time comes, you are in the area of someone, like you may be, I may be in that area. I may know someone in that area that I can connect you with. That's what we're trying to make this network of our people, that when these things happen, whatever your shortcoming is, someone else can meet you there and be that force to help you. And that's what it's all about. Leo is in Texas. I believe Brother Mike, he's in Virginia. I'm in South Carolina, but we trying to create Brother Makarov. I think he's on the West Coast, right, Mac? I think Brother Mac is on the West Coast. But we're trying to create this net.
Nah. I got folk. I'm mainly Atlanta based. I'm not there right now, but when shit hit the
Oh,
fan, best believe I'm gonna be in them Georgia woods.
okay. See. So you got people that you got people that's not that far from you, but that's what we're doing now, as far as creating these rooms where we can network, and that we have people that already met up off the app. We're planning trips to go camping, to get prepared for things like that. And by you being in the back chat, you'll be made aware of these type of things when these things come up, so that we can get this preparation right for this time. We also have we have people that's moving to Atlanta area, buying land, so that we can everybody can get to a certain area where, if anything was to happen, we do have a community that can work out of that. And you think about it, at this time we have multiple camps that are teaching on this platform, and they came together in spite of tiny differences to teach as one unit. So if we can do that on a platform, why can't we do that, living together or preparing for what's about to happen together, which is more important, because we don't want to be dependent on our neighbors. We don't want to be dependent on other nations in this time. So, is you as Brother Leo, he gave you precepts, take no worry in that time, but you also have to prepare, because it's a saying that victory favors the prepared. So it's no way you could triumph if you're not prepared for it, right? I got a couple precepts. Let me bring out one. Second Esdras. Let me bring it out real quick. Salakia. Second Esdras 14 and bear with me. Second Esdras 14 and 13, I believe. Right. Okay, so Second Esdras 14 and 13, it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them that be in trouble, and now renounce corruption." Right? So this is the time we need to be setting our house in order. We can't set our house in order when the things is already, the house is already being torn down. When we have people, the great multitude from Second Esdras 16, uh, uh, 16th chapter is kindled over you. You know what I'm saying? When they are, when they shut everything down because we refuse to take these vaccines, and we are you had Biden yesterday talking about those that refuse to take the vaccine is going to pay. He said they're going to pay a hefty price. So that's not I don't believe that that's an idle threat. You know what I'm saying? Their goal is to inoculate our people. So whatever it is, whether it's war, whether it's them trying to force something on us, whether it's them trying to shut us off from the population, we need to set our house in order now. We need to start, reaching out to people. This is not a place where you see other Israelites, and you ask questions. Hey, who's in this area? Even if you're not in the camp, who could I link up with? You know, who's in that area? What is it? Some things that you like to do? Well, hey, this is a skill that I have that I can do. You know what I'm saying? This is something I do. I know how to fish. This is an important time for you to learn a skill. Every one of us to learn a skill, because you are only as good as what you know how to do. If you don't know how to do anything, you are a liability. That's our nation is only as strong as what you know how to do. And we have some brothers that don't know how to do simple things that and we understand that a lot of our brothers haven't been brought up in a household with a man there that was handy or anything like that. We know that a lot of our sisters haven't been brought up in a household where their mother taught them how to do natural women duties, things that women should know how to do. you know Women are natural nurturers, natural nurses and things like that. Those are things that some women should do, but it's some women that don't know a damn thing of how to sew, how to mend a wound, how to clean a wound, how to if a man brings home some type of kill, how to clean it, how to skin it, things like that. We need our people to learn how to do some skill. It's men that don't know how to bait a line on a fishing rod, and that's sad. Because if you get in a situation where you need to catch some fish, you're going to be looking hella stupid there while everybody catching fish, and you have to feed your family. You have to pull your weight. So these are things in our meantime that we should be knowing how to do. We shouldn't be lazy. We shouldn't be squeamish, depending on the comforts of captivity. All these brothers, there's a lot of brothers in the crowd, there's decorated crowd. We talk to these brothers daily of what they know how to do, and they are all in different places. But Most High willing, in that time, He will gather us, and we will be as strong at a unit as what everyone knows how to do, with the foundation of what everybody believes in, which is the Most High, right? So that's the basic thing. I got one more precept I want to bring out. This is I want to go to First Thessalonians 5, because we got to know who is over us. A lot of us, we have this pride thing when we get in, and that's a lone wolf mindset. Going back to the topic, because we have a lot of people that is very prideful, so they really just want to be alone because they don't want to have to answer to anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always going to be someone that is over you in understanding, over you in leadership. So where we might not reach out just for pride's sake to say, well, this guy, he's really good at things, but I don't want to be showing up, or I don't want to have to listen to anybody. I run my own household. No, if it's a brother that is better at leadership than you might want to get around him to learn what some of the things, pick his brain about some of the things. It should be nothing shameful to learning how to better protect your family and yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or if a brother know a way to go, hey, I'm gonna help you. Let's help each other get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? We understand. We understand that saying goes around about an alpha male. Alpha male. No, that shit is dumb. We need some brothers working together. Not everybody is going to be the same type of leader that someone else is. So we need to know who is above us in understanding. We need to get around those. And every brother can lead in a certain situation because they may know something better. It's not one person that's just great at every single thing, but you need to know who's over you in understanding on certain things, right? This is First Thessalonians 5, and I'm gonna start at 11, right? It says, "Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do." So we got to be comforting ourselves together. The lone wolf mindset, I mean, that's all well and cool, but you want to survive. At the end, as Brother Leo brought out, you're going to be overwhelmed being by yourself. But the main thing is survival of your family, survival of you, survival as the whole group. You're going to have a bunch of people that wants to get in your group or want to get what you have. They don't want to hunt for it. They don't want to work for it. They didn't put together no bug out bag. They want to take what you have. So we have to comfort ourselves together. That's what we've been doing on this app for more than, for several months now. Mine say I've been on this app since, and before this app, I knew a lot of people, but since we've been forming this network on this app since January, it's now May. Nonstop, we've been forming this network. Right? Verse 12, it says, "And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you." Right? So it's a lot of brothers that's on this app that are part of bodies that have understanding, and they even they may be leaders of their camp, but they even adhere to someone that's more knowledgeable in a certain skill. Humility, the one of the greatest forms of humility is when you um when you allow someone of understanding to to step back a bit. It's not always going forward. The humble part is being able to step back and turn over the mantle to someone. As they say, if before you know how to lead, you first need to know how to follow. So it's nothing wrong with that. Right? Verse 13, "And to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves." Right? So that's that, that main point of that was just that you need to, don't be fearful that, whatever your situation is, we understand that our lot is our lot. But I see you working out. I watch your videos. You seem like a very astute brother. But you know, this is a network where you can reach out. You can reach out to myself. You reach out to Brother Leo, and we'll continue to connect and link up with you and link you up with other people in your area, so that when that day comes, you have people to rely on. You have a place that you can go to. You have brothers and sisters of this network that you can say, hey, I've been following you, I've been reaching out to you, and it won't be something new that you're looking for them in that day. You already established that connection beforehand. And that goes for anybody that's in the audience, anybody that's been coming here. That's what we're doing on this platform. We're trying to establish a network of people across our, the four corners, because we're all not just in the Western Hemisphere. We have people that's in other places that be on this app. Just trying to link them with as many brothers and sisters as they can to get them that comfort. So when those days come of great tribulation, that they have a sanctuary to go. We are only stronger when we are together. That's how Israel has always been. When we are divided, we fail, and Satan seeks to divide us. He thinks he's very good at it on this app, because we deal with it daily, but yet we're still here. So that's really all I wanted to say. You can kind of get that, Tevin?
I appreciate it. On the last couple of years or so, I really been looking for spiritual guidance and that strong masculine voice, because in today's society they're trying to do their best to silence it, and it's like I just need that guidance, and I know that I need to be closer to the Most High and whatnot. So I'm really glad that I finally found solace and comfort on Clubhouse, and new in the truth, but I plan to continue to keep growing and growing, and I'll be in the back chat trying to connect with people, trying to expand my network and learning new skills. And I appreciate the scriptures, and I talk to Brother Mike a lot, so that's really helpful also.
All praises, King. All praises.
All praises.
You got it, Leah.
All praises. And with that, there's something like I just I hear people when I see it on Twitter, or I just hear people talk. The one word I just can't imagine how is that possible, especially when you claim to be in the truth, is bored. Like I've heard that more times than I felt comfortable hearing. Like, oh, I'm bored. Oh, I don't have anything to do. I was thinking, like, you in the truth and Jacob's trouble is coming. How are you bored? Like, there's to be so much stuff that you could be taking advantage of in terms of learning and practicing and doing, but you're bored. So that leads me to believe that you really don't believe what's coming is coming. It's just I just don't understand how can any of us who are in the truth, be bored. In terms of I just can't see it. So with that, if there's anyone else that has any questions or comments, raise your hand and we'll bring you up. Or any precepts you want to share. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight. While we're waiting on someone, if someone wants to add anything, or Ariala, Mike, Miles, you guys want to add anything?
I'm about to start on the showroom.
Okay, cool. All right.
Hey, if before we wrap up, if anybody got any questions on the one through, we covered from 1 all the way to 10. This will be the 10th installment. This is your time to ask questions regarding getting up to Jacob's trouble, any skills that you are looking to need to know in this time. We talked about this the other day. Men, get your skills together. You need to be able to know how to create a fire. If you don't have matches, if you don't even if you don't have wood. So come ask questions about your bug out bag, something that we have covered. Come make sure you come to the stage and ask a question before we wrap up.
Shalom, my brother Sapor. How's it going? You got a question?
Shalom. Yes, brother. Shalom, family. This is the first day actually that I'm finding out about this room. I heard earlier all the topics that were discussed. I was wondering if there was an online resource or repository where you have some of this information located.
Yes, we do. We record these lessons, so we have a YouTube channel. Brother Ben has his YouTube channel, and we have a playlist that has all the Jacob Trouble series on there. So we can link up and we can send that to you.
Oh,
So
absolutely. I'm following you and King Ben as well. Oh, actually,
yeah,
all the moderators.
yeah. Go ahead and follow all the moderators. And we'll get that to you, and then we'll connect and get started. So get you good to go. Thank
I
you for coming.
appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
All praises. Is there anyone else that has any questions? In the chat, if you're part of Thy Kingdom Come and you connected with one of us, we're going to get you in the Telegram chat. Download that. I'm going to post all the videos of everything that we should be learning. If there's anything else you guys want to add to that list, feel free. But I'm going to get that to you guys. So should be nothing else. You shouldn't be lacking in anything. As far as I can see in terms of that content. So, add Ben.
Yeah, before we wrap up, those that are in the back chat, those that are not, DM me or myself, or Leo, so that you can be added to the back chat. If anybody has uh, any ideas on anything future that they would wish us to cover for the Jacob's Trouble classes, feel free to DM Leo or myself. I know a lot of times when you're in the class, it probably doesn't come to mind, but you may be home, you may be thinking that it's something that I want to prepare for, and they probably haven't covered it in detail, or something that we may have missed. Feel free to DM us, or those that are in the chat, they can add to as well. Um, Also, what was I was? Oh yeah, reference to Brother Leo also mentioned before we wrap up about the mid morning news blend. We'll be back tomorrow. We had a little hiccup today, scheduling wise, but we'll be back tomorrow. Also on Thursday we have our first annual. It'll be the first installment of the Knights of the Round Table, which is open discussion. Three hot topics. Uh, uh, Black people owning firearms, as well as Salakia, as well as the police in our communities, and should we police our own communities, as well as the black dollar. Right, we know how the children of Israel, Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the biggest spenders of this, uh, um, of the Western Hemisphere, of this nation, but yet we reap the less of the benefit of these of our dollar. So we want to discuss that. It'll be an open discussion, an open panel. So feel free to invite, as well as make sure you become a member of Thy Kingdom Come, so you know when that room becomes available. It's going to be a Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you go down in our bio, follow the clubs as well. Crown of Thorns, God First Gang, as well as For the Love of God, Shalom and Chill, the 1/3, um, and Free Smoke Fridays. Can't forget. Make sure you become members of those clubs. We've been building this platform up for over around 5 months now. Um, trying to keep this 24 hour. We got some great teachers. Some of them in the crowd, Brother Dominique, Brother Ariala, you know, Brother Shalpar, and just coming together, open these rooms, and trying to edify our people. And we know that this clubhouse can be very distracted with a lot of crazy things going on, but we want to keep our people gathered together and get them prepared so we can all get up out of here. So make sure you following those clubs so you have a place to always be edified and informed while you're on this platform. With that being said, Brother Mike, Brother Leo, you got anything else before we wrap up?
No. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate the support. All praises to the Father. That's all.
Con. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the mid morning brew blend. And with that being said, we pray that the Most High keep you and you have a safe rest of your night. Brother Ariala opened up a Shalom and Chill room. So once you leave out of here, you can go on over there and relax and fellowship. And then with that, I'm going to say Shalom.
Shalom.